A very warm welcome to StudyIQ, my dear friends. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you all are doing good. Today is 27th August 2020. I would like to start today's discussion with this quote by T.S. Eliot. Only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. You have to push those boundaries that were created by you. You have to take this risk. You have to gather courage to step out of that boundary, because there are endless opportunities waiting for you every single day, right? These opportunities are telling you that just come out of this boundary that you have created and we will grab you. So think about it. With this, dear friends, StudyIQ team has designed a smart course. This smart course is for Civil Services Examination. It covers your pre as well as mains examination, and to find out more about it, all you have to do is download our mobile application. Till 31st August 2020, EMI option is also available on our smart courses. On our table, we have 5 important articles. You can download the PDF of today's lecture from my Telegram channel. You can follow me on Facebook. Let's start our discussion with a very interesting statement that is coming from Pakistan. Now, I was saying the same thing in this Hindi version of the Hindu analysis that, by the way, there are many students, they are not aware about the Hindi version of the same lecture. So every single day, the first lecture that you get from me is the Hindi version of the Hindu analysis, and it is followed by this version, that is the English version of the Hindu analysis. So I was talking with students of Hindi version that if, just imagine if you have Foreign Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar in your city, and if you get a chance to listen to him, to attend that function, then I think we should, because he is an expert in it. He has been Indian Foreign Service Officer throughout his life, and now he is Foreign Affairs Minister. If you see Usain Bolt in your city, or if you can read his book, or if you can hear him, then we should listen to him when it comes to running. If Usain Bolt is saying something about running, then we need to listen to him, particularly about sprinting, because he is one of the best. In the same way, when Pakistan is speaking about terrorism, then we have to listen to it, because Pakistan is best in terrorism. It provides a breeding ground, it provides training, it provides weapons, it provides that environment, that ideology. Means it's like one-stop destination for terrorists, and the whole world is aware about this thing. But it's quite interesting, and I don't know why they don't feel even a little bit of shame in issuing this sort of statements that India is promoting cross-border terrorism. That's one of the most hilarious statement that you can hear at a geopolitical level. In the letter, Pakistan's ambassador sought to portray Pakistan as a victim of cross-border terrorism, and claimed that Pakistan is responsible for decimating Al-Qaeda in the region. I would like to remind the ambassador of Pakistan that one of the most wanted men, Osama bin Laden, was found in your country only. Look at these 4 types of terrorism that Pakistan has described. And of course, you know that, of course, India has strongly protested against this sort of statements. These are baseless. They are, these statements are like pure fiction, I would say. Anyway, let's go through this 4 types of so-called terrorism that Pakistan is facing. It is saying that in Pakistan, this Taliban Pakistan is executing, or it is attacking Pakistani people, and this TTP is funded by Indian terror syndicate based in Afghanistan. The second allegation was that India has hired mercenaries to carry out attacks in operations Pakistan claims have been organized by Kulbhushan Jadhav. Next is Pakistan's contention that policies of government amounted to Hindutva terrorism, which is with the specific references to the Citizenship Amendment Act and Ram Temple construction. And finally, there is often repeated allegation about Indian government actions in Jammu and Kashmir, which it refers to as state terrorism. So you can see that there is no point of wasting any further time after this sort of fictional as well as baseless as well as laughable statements coming from Pakistan. Now, a few days ago as well, we were talking about this thing that whenever you find Pakistan, stuck in a corner, whenever Pakistan is pushed by whenever it feels that international pressure, and in near future, we are going to see this FATF, Financial Action Task Force plenary session. So there are chances, because as far as I know, Pakistan has not performed, it has not delivered the promises that it has, or the things that it has said in front of FATF that it will do. So these are the tactics that Pakistan deploys, and this is a very common pattern. If you are following this analysis, or if you are following current affairs in general, then you have to be aware about this thing that whenever you put a little bit of, if you push the pedal a little bit hard, then you will see this sort of behavior of Pakistan. So let's move on. But before that, dear friends, it's a small request to all of you to please share this lecture with other students. Hit the like button if you have learned something from today's discussion. And please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Sobering assessment. This one is based on Reserve Bank of India's annual report. Annual report, and the year is 2019-20. Okay, so this is 2. So 2019-20. So in this latest annual report, RBI has said that things are not that great. In near future, we are going to feel a little bit more pain because our economy is not doing that great. Remember MPC meeting, and I have one question for you. Can you tell me how many members are there in Monetary Policy Committee? Stick your answer in the comment section. Now, don't just put one number, whether it is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Don't just write 10 or 11 or 1 or 2. I want you guys to write it properly, that Monetary Policy Committee has this many members, okay? So please try, do a little bit effort in writing one statement at least. So MPC decided to hold fire on interest rates. That means repo rate was not reduced in last MPC meeting. And one of the main reason is inflation, because so many things were not available in the market. There was this scarcity of goods because so many factories were shut off. And there was nowadays we find that there is lack of demand as well. Now, of course, there are few things that you cannot, without that you cannot live. Like you need soap, you need oil, you need gas, you need food items. But food items and other things are a little bit expensive at present. And there are many places they have this local lockdowns, and they have played a very, you can say, they have acted like a big wall, or they have acted like, not like a wall, but the right word would be speed breakers. These local lockdowns have acted as speed breakers. Now, for near-term prospects, posit a stark picture. There are bad signs. The first one is demand is down. So even if you are producing something, if let's say if you're producing 100 bicycles every day, if you have a bicycle factory, if you're producing 100 bicycles, but the schools are off, businesses are off, so many places they have these local lockdowns, people are not traveling that much that they used to do. So your product, that is this bicycle, right, hardly people will buy it, and many people, they have lost their jobs, so they don't have money. They will wait for a few more months, right? They will adjust with the things they have. So private consumption is down. Same thing goes with petrol and diesel, right? We used to use more petrol and diesel, I believe, in general, but now people are using less. They are traveling less. Then we have other expenses, right? You will hardly find people going for, buying clothes and things, because these are the things, like, they are not working at present. There are so many businesses, they're not doing that great, because overall sentiment is that people would like to save money, would like to keep money with them. If you have 10,000 rupees, then you will keep that 10,000 rather than buying clothes of that 10,000, because you never know, right? You never know what will happen in future. So until and unless we get a vaccine for it, and vaccine is available freely, or when I say freely, I mean to say that it is accessible, till then we are going to see this sort of situation. That's what I think. Public finances are strained. Government, right? Government is spending huge amount of money to control this pandemic. At the same time, transactions are low. Because transactions are low, your GST collection is going to be low. So many people have lost their jobs. Businesses are not making that much profit. So your direct tax is going to be low. So your expenses, when I say your, I mean to say government's expenses are up. Incoming revenue is down. So this is going to impact government's finances, or public finances. Then it comes to private investors. Of course, if consumption is down, if demand is down, then you are not going to open a new factory, or you are not going to open a new shop, right? You are going to keep, if you have money, then you are going to keep it with you. If you don't have money, then you are not going to knock the doors of a bank or a money lender and ask money for opening a new business. You are not going to take those big decisions or risks in this environment. So private investment is also down. So when private investment is down, that means job creation will go down as well. And credit flow impeding risk aversion among bankers. Bankers are also not sure. Like, this is, if it means, if it is guaranteed by government, that's a different thing. But if bankers are not ready to invest in big projects, or they are not that much inclined to give money to investors, or money to those borrowers or business people who are seeking money, or if you go to a bank and ask for money, if they see that you are a little bit risky, if your business is a little bit shaky, then they will not give you, or they will try the level best to delay that thing, to delay your demand for loan, because they think that there are high chances that many business will shut down, and many businesses or many loans will turn into non-performing assets. This report has also blamed local lockdowns for slow pace of recovery. Unlocking started from 1st June 2020, isn't it? And after that, we saw people started traveling from one place to another, and then we saw this rapid expansion of COVID-19 in various different parts of our country as well. So, because of this rising numbers in few cities, the local administration has decided to implement local lockdowns. And local lockdowns in urban area is a big problem. Local lockdowns in so many towns or in some regions is also a big problem, because your whole supply chain gets disrupted. I'll give you one example. Let's say you are Tata Motors. You are producing 100 cars per month. Out of this 100 cars, you are confident that you will sell 50 cars to rural customer, and 50 cars you will sell it in urban area. Okay. Now, as far as rural area is concerned, all your cars are done. You have sold all of them. So you are good in that front. Now you have 50 cars in stock. So what you find is that in Mumbai, in parts of Delhi, in parts of Ahmedabad, or in parts of Chennai, you have some sort of lockdowns going on, local lockdowns. And because of this thing, your showrooms are not working. So your car will stay there. So next month, if you have, let's say if you have sold 30 cars, if you have an inventory or stock of 20 cars, then how many cars will you produce? You will produce just 80 cars. Isn't it? So if you are producing 80 cars, that means you are buying less tires, you are buying less leather covers, you are buying less of everything, because you are producing 20 cars less than what you used to do last month. The next month you find that some other places, now urban area is doing good, but rural area is doing bad. So you have, next month you have stock of 30 cars. So after that you will have 50 cars. I'm just giving you a rough example, right, for you to understand. So this is how local lockdowns are bad for your recovery. States are expected to find their finances so tightly squeezed as to have to cut capital spending. It is hard to see the government raising much out of its privatization efforts. Now, government is trying to sell all those assets, right? Government companies, they have huge amount of land, they have other machineries and other assets that can be utilized by other companies. But as I told you, right, private investor, he or she will not take that risk. Corporates will not take that risk in buying items worth crores and crores of rupees. So that's why Expenditure Secretary TV Somanathan has acknowledged that the centre may opt to marshal its merged resources more prudently and wait for the curve of infections to start flattening before committing to any further stimulus spending. What he has said is that I was talking about this thing yesterday with students of daily financial news analysis, and this is just for you guys to, means I want you guys, if many of you, if you are not aware about daily financial news analysis, then this is a series that is going on our channel, StudyIQ Education, and if you are preparing for UPSC, SBI, IBPS, RBI, SSC, then this channel will help you a lot, because this channel, as well as this particular video series, to be precise, it will help you a lot, because every single day we discuss financial, economical and business related news items in this series. So I was talking about this TV Somanathan's statement that he said that government may consider second stimulus package in future, but the problem is that government is waiting for a vaccine, government is waiting for that fear to die, and after that government is going to inject money. I was going through a report, and we have discussed this report in daily financial news analysis, so if you are following that series, you'd be aware about it. If you're not, then let me tell you that as per one report, as per few experts, what they have said is that if you want to inject a second stimulus package, then this is the right time. Because what is happening is that your economy, if it will cross this red line, once it will cross this thing here, so if you are injecting 100 rupees, and if you are thinking that you will inject 100 rupees later on, and that 100 rupees can help give that jump or boost to your falling economy or nose-diving economy. But if your economy crosses this red line, then after that you might have to spend, means there is no way to come back, or it will take a very long period of time. There are chances that the thing that you were able to sort out in 100 rupees, now you have to spend more than 100, or maybe 200, maybe 300 rupees to bring it back to normal. So there is one argument as well, that if you want to inject, then this is the right time, don't wait for future. Then the third one is about uncharted territory of outer space. This article is written by Syed Akbaruddin, who has served as India's permanent representative at the United Nations. So outer space is, of course, a very interesting thing, and it all started during this Cold War time, when Russia was, or USSR was versus USA, and there was this technological, geopolitical competition that is going on, that used to go on at that point of time. That was going on, and then we have other players like India, Chandrayaan, Mangalyaan, and we have done so many things, and there are other countries as well. They are doing quite great in space. Do you know that during this lockdown phase, or when this whole COVID-19 was at its peak, when I say it is still at its peak, but when I say peak, I mean to say when lockdown was there in most nations on this world. So at that point of time, China, USA, this UAE, they have launched their Mars orbiter and missions. The first astronaut trip to orbit on a commercial enterprise built by SpaceX also took place. The completion of Chinese Beidou satellite navigation system took place, and US Space Command statement that Russia conducted a non-destructive test of a space-based anti-satellite weapon. All these trends portray that space is going to witness so many new activities. And if we are using space for peaceful purpose, that is great. But if we are using it as beating each other, then that is going to be very bad. Because, see, we say that when we talk about India and our states, so we can say that I'm Gujarati, you could be West Bengal, could be from Bengali, or you are Bengali, or maybe from West Bengal, you are from Jharkhand or Bihar. We are from different regions and different states. But when it comes to our country, we all are Indians, isn't it? In the same way, we can have this game, right, geopolitical game, that this is Russia and this is China and this is India and everything is fine, okay. But when it comes to space, I think we should act as human beings rather than Russian or American and Chinese and Indian and things like that, okay. That's my idea, because if we work together, we are going to have big jumps. If we fight with each other, competition is good, no bad, not means I'm not against competition. It's good. It will keep us alive, but it should not be destructive. It should be a healthy competition. Anyway, the price is going down. Space travel is going to be a reality in future. NASA will charge you, or at present the cost for 1 kilo. If you want to send something, 1 kilo price is $54,500. SpaceX Falcon has brought it down to 2,720 per kilo. In a decade, the cost would be less than $100 per kilo. So that's going to be the future. Now, this whole space industry is like a software industry. When Apple came out with a new idea that it allowed people to take part in this. Apple said that if you want, then you can develop this software you can develop these apps for iPhone. And so many creative people, they took part in it. And today we know that what Apple did, Apple utilized best minds. In the same way, we find there are so many private players, they are coming in. Like Starlink, this is a project by SpaceX. Now, I want you guys to remember the name. You can find a question on this thing in your prelims examination. So SpaceX is going to create it is going to launch 10,000 mass-produced small satellites in low Earth orbit, and with the help of this Starlink, it is going to provide global internet services. Amazon's project Kuiper has got a green signal from the central government of USA, and it is going to launch some 3,000 microsatellites that will again do the same, something similar. So in a decade time, we are going to find 80,000 satellites in low Earth orbit. And things are going to get bigger and bigger. It is going to provide or open doors and opportunities for manufacturing industry or high-tech manufacturing industry. There are so many companies like Planet, Spire Global, ICA, right? They are using orbital vantage point to collect and analyze data to deliver fresh insights into weather forecasting, global logistics, crop harvesting, disaster response, and so many other things. Space law is something that we need, because we have space laws. We have this Outer Space Treaty of 1967. We have the Rescue Agreement, Space Liability Convention, Space Registration Convention, the Moon Treaty of 1979. I'm just going to read all of this, and I'll tell you one thing. The bottom line is that these things are not followed, right? And there is no dispute settlement mechanism at all. So in future, when the traffic will grow, when competition will grow, we are going to see some sort of friction between two countries. And this is very important, that this is the right time that we plan everything for the future, that how we are going to solve problems, how we can avoid problems, what are the things that we need to do, how we are going to frame rules and regulations, and how we can take every country on board so that there are no issues at all when it comes to space. We should act like human beings, right? We don't know what is out there. So all our dirty games, we can leave it on planet Earth, but outside, if we can stop that thing on planet Earth, that would be great. But if we cannot, then let's not fight when it comes to space. So we need to create dispute settlement mechanism. We need to create a proper system that can promote space research rather than crush it. And there are so many nowadays private players are also interested, because you see there is this Psyche 16 or 16 Psyche asteroid, and this asteroid has huge deposit of gold, platinum, iron, and nickel. It is estimated that the heavy metal of this asteroid is worth it some 10,000 quadrillion. So many private players are interested in extracting this wealth. So you are going to see a cutthroat competition. And it reminds us of this USSR versus USA's Cold War race. India as well is a very important player when it comes to space. Our ISRO is quite famous around the world, and recently we have launched this Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Center, that is InSpace. It works under Department of Space for permitting and regulating activities. Activities of the private sector are welcome effort. Now, we need a space legislation enabling coherence across technical, legal, commercial, diplomatic, defense goals. At the same time, it should address global governance, regulatory, and arms control issues. And that's everything. Let's move on to next item. This one is easy to understand. Nowadays, we are using digital services for healthcare, for government services, for education, cashless transactions. Then what are the other things? Verification and signatures, communication. Mobilizing crowds, holding political rallies, buying and selling things, and there are so many other things. And nowadays, most of us are working from home, isn't it? Work from home is a very common thing, but digital services are not available to urban poor, to elderly people, and those people living in remote areas. They are not able to access health facilities, education facilities, welfare alerts, critical services, engage in means they cannot use internet, or they don't have access to internet, so they cannot use this. They don't have access to internet as well as device, so they cannot use this internet to upgrade their own skills. In 2016, the UN General Assembly passed a non-binding resolution that declared internet access as a human right. Okay, that's fine, that's good. That I think internet access is something that should be available 24/7 everywhere, so that and there should be a choice as well if you want to use it or not. So if you don't want to use it, that's fine, but whenever you want to use it, it should be there, and that is possible now. You know, this Starlink, and then you have this other program of Amazon. So this sort of things are not that far from us. This thing is not far from us now. So what we need to do is we need to create some community access points as well, where if you don't have any device, then there should be some corners in your city, in your not just one or two in city, but there should be many corners, just like ATMs. You can visit this internet cafes, and then you can use it freely. You can do your little bit of research and whatever you want to do over there, in case if you don't have access to internet. So in every village we need to have this sort of points. Punjab government at present, it is distributing some 1.75 lakh free smartphones to its students. And we were talking about this desktop charity, remember, yesterday, so we can do that thing as well. Making agricultural market reforms successful. Why reforms are not working? The problem is that there are too many of them, and many times it's quite confusing. This situation is called time inconsistency problem. Remember ENAM, Electronic National Agriculture Market. When it was launched, 585 markets of 16 states and 2 union territories were covered under ENAM. So when it was launched, it was said that means we thought that now a farmer from Haryana, he would be able to sell his products to a customer in Kerala or maybe Andhra Pradesh. But then we found there are so many issues with ENAM. Then later on, government launched this PM Asha. It was about providing you 50% more on your. So let's say if your production cost is 100, then you will get 50%, that is 50 rupees. So your minimum support price for your product will be 150 rupees. Okay, not every crop was covered under this thing. And then government came out with this PM Kisan, giving 6,000 rupees, 3 installments of 2,000. Every 4 months you get 2,000 rupees. And then states are also adding some sort of amount on this thing. So basically central government is giving 6,000 rupees per year to farmers. Now here as well we find some states are not on board, and no doubt government is trying its level best, but the problem is this. The problem is of time inconsistency problem. That is the policy credibility problem is there. People still feel that they are not getting help from the government. Now, ENAM has been scaled up. This COVID-19 has provided a big opportunity to government, and I think, personally, I think the government has done quite well in getting rid of this APMC and giving permission to farmer produce organizations, and app-based transport services are available now. There are 415 more markets that are covered by ENAM, and in future the target is that every market will be under this big umbrella called ENAM. And then if you have seamless, if you get your money, if you can just like Ola Cab, you can book a truck that can come and pick up your produce stuff, and it can transport it to its destination. If once we will have that whole system, then it will be a big boost. And then we need warehousing and this thing on which government is working. But apart from that, what we need is central government as well as state governments cooperation, as well as state relation. What we find is when Mamata Banerjee and Narendra Modi, or BJP and Trinamool Congress, because of their political rivalry, people of West Bengal or farmers of West Bengal, they were not able to receive money under this PM Kisan. So this sort of lack of federal cooperation is anti-progress when it comes to agriculture. So the conclusion is we need consistency in policy, collaborative approach, and complementary reforms are necessary for the success of recent agricultural market reforms. And that's everything from my side. Thank you very much for watching this video. God bless you all. Jai Hind.